What if your policy documents could answer questions themselves and prove every answer? This is Avery, running locally on a Mac. Everything you're about to see is real and unscripted. Northwind Technologies runs on 15 documents in 5 formats: 9 policies in Word, PDF, and Markdown, an Excel exception register, and a delegation matrix, CSV inventories, even policy update emails. And people ask questions like, can I use ChatGPT with customer contracts? The right answer spans 3 policies, hinges on a defined term, and can flip on a time-bound exception buried in a spreadsheet. The usual answer is RAG. Chunk the documents, embed them, retrieve whatever looks similar, and hope the model re-reasons it all per question. But retrieval finds similar text, not the governing rule. It misses what it didn't retrieve. It rederives precedents and expiry from scratch every time, and it hands you a confident paragraph no auditor would accept. Avery does something different. It reads your documents once and compiles them. Every rule, definition, and exception becomes an entry in a knowledge graph that keeps its source, the document, the section, the exact quote, and its links to everything it touches. Questions are answered by walking that graph. Same facts, same answer every time. So here's the plan, all live. Compile the rulebook, walk the knowledge map, ask the hard questions, build an agent that blocks violations, and ship it as an app for the whole team. In Avery's Knowledge View, I create a rulebook, Northwind Compliance, and feed it the corpus exactly as it is. The security policy first, then everything. Word, PDF, Markdown, the Excel registers, the CSV inventories, the emails. 16 documents, 5 formats. 1 click, read the documents, and Avery's compiler reads every clause, once. It compiles in the background, rules, definitions, exceptions, and the cross-references between them. A few minutes later, 170 rules, 40 definitions, 27 exceptions, each one carrying its exact source clause. And Avery is honest about uncertainty. Anything it wasn't sure of waits in a review queue for a person to confirm. This is the knowledge map, your policies as a graph, not a pile of files. Start from a defined term, contractor, and there's every rule that term binds. Click a rule inside the map and walk to what it touches. Filter to exceptions. Here's the vendor carve-out from the Excel register. Link to the vendor security rule it overrides. Every entry keeps its source, its date, and how confident Avery is. These explicit connections are exactly what similarity search doesn't have. Now, the payoff. Can I paste confidential customer data into my personal ChatGPT account? No, and look at how it decided. 53 candidate rules considered, each dismissed with a reason, down to the one that governs. Quoted verbatim from the security policy with the defined term that makes it apply. Not similar text, the governing rule. Another one, can contractors have standing access to production? No, and the chain walks the definition of contractor, the access control policy, and the break glass exception, all in one connected pass. And when it can't be sure, an AI coding assistant that trains on our source code, it refuses to guess. It names the missing fact, cites the policy email it read, and hands the call to a person. That's the difference between retrieval and reasoning. Now put the rulebook to work. I describe a vendor contract gatekeeper in plain English. Extract the facts, check the rulebook, block anything that violates. Watch Avery plan it. The middle step is a decide step bound straight to the compiled rulebook. Fail closed. Anything other than a clean yes is blocked. I build it against a real violating request, a vendor asking for our customer database with no certification and no signed data processing agreement. And Avery authors each step, then tests the whole workflow on that request. The gatekeeper is ready. A new request comes in. Payment data, no certification, no signed DPA. Watch the workflow run, extract the facts, ask the rulebook, blocked, and held for a human. The agent will not let it through. The verdict carries the reasoning chain and the exact clauses it stands on, quoted from the vendor security policy. Last step, an app for everyone else. I describe it, pick the gatekeeper to power it, and Avery designs the screens and wires them to the agent, live. Here's compliance checkpoint. Anyone types a request in plain language. Marketing wants to send our customer list to an outside vendor. No data processing agreement. 1 click. The agent runs live, extracting the facts, walking the graph, not allowed, and it says so in plain language, blocked and held for compliance review. The why is written in plain sentences, every rule it considered, and the exact clause, quoted from our own vendor security policy. It's held for a person. One click closes the loop, and there's the finished answer, the way a business user should see it. The decision, front and center. How it was decided, clean formatted steps, no JSON anywhere, and the policy behind it, so the business user sees why, and an auditor can verify it. Avery makes it extremely easy to build your own compliance systems using AI agents. No guesswork and reasoning you can audit. Go to Avery.Software today to download and try your use case.